Welcome on in, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be discussing the recently dropped campaign for Modern Warfare 3 and in my opinion why it's very underwhelming and to be honest quite disappointing. So I was very eager to play it yesterday, I loaded up the stream, I ended up being on a bit later so I thought I might end up playing into the early hours and things like that to play through the full game. Now, every Call of Duty is pretty much released with a campaign, and some of the recent Modern Warfare games have had some amazing campaigns and moments. Like, everyone can remember that nighttime raid in Modern Warfare 2019 where you had to creep in through the building, lasers out, NVGs on, and things like that. Or the chase from the last Modern Warfare 2, through the urban setting, through the houses and things like that, when you were playing as the Mexican Special Forces and you jumped over the wall and gone through the border and everything, and that was a fantastic moment. Now, these campaigns, I will say, are not for everyone. Some people just want to play multiplayer and never touch them, but if you do play them, then you should leave that, you know what I mean, story or campaign, understanding the storylines and feel like you've been a part of it and feel like that you've helped build that story and help that you've been a part of it, you know what I mean, and understand everything that's going on. Now, this one, unfortunately, I'm going to say it doesn't do that, and I do have three main reasons of why I thought that this is the case. Now, number one, the first point I come to is just a poor story. The storyline involves the escape of Makarov, who is a fantastic enemy in the Modern Warfare series, and normally he's very intelligent and leads to a cat and mouse style kind of confrontation between all of the players, including 141, like Price and Ghost and things like that. Now, this storyline though just feels very disjointed. Constantly they're coming back with random bits of intel that lead you to the next location. You then go do that mission and you do something. All of the areas just feel like random areas with no real progression, and most of the levels are just set pieces with cutscenes. And oddly, what comes off is a Discord call to really move it along in between. Now, that does lead into my next point of what I mean by this, which is that due to that poor story and the way that, oh well, you need to go here now, and you need to go here now, and you need to go here now. My second point is that it's got poor mission design. Now, in Modern Warfare 2, we had that amazing mission in Amsterdam. You can all remember it, where you start off and you're all in the crowd and everything like that, and you've got to knock that guy out onto the bench and everything like that. And then you go down, you're listening into people, and then you've got to follow them, and then you've got to put the 9-bang into the dumpster and stuff like that. Now, sorry, the decoy grenade, not the 9-bang. Now, that was all building in the story, and you kind of moved through the mission in the area, in the level, and it was all going through, and obviously you're fighting it. In Modern Warfare 1, we had that amazing Black Hawk's down style mission where you had to push the buildings, clear out the enemies, hold off the attackers so that everyone in the Black Hawk would be fine, you know what I mean, before pushing on to the other buildings where the enemy's in, you know what I mean. However, in this game, you basically just dropped into a map, and it's a very big map, and most of the maps tend to be quite open area, which is something that they were putting forward, that it was a selling point of the game. But you really just do one or two things. So take the mission Deep Cover, right? It's the mission that Laswell, our CIA liaison from the previous games, she goes to break into a Russian base to speak with an informant type of thing. You dropped into the map, and you're in obviously all the gear and stuff. You store your gun and then just walk into the base. No one stops you. No one really does anything. And then you find out you have to get a key card to get into the building. But luckily, the moment that you find this out, someone walks out the building who has a key card. You don't need to find them. You don't need to try and coerce them or do something to get them to go to an area where you can then get the key card off them. They literally just walk out the building, go up to an isolated room, so you can just walk in the room, double tap the two people, take the key card. Okay, so fair enough, you might be thinking get into the building, then you have to go and do these little bits and pieces and try and get around, you know what I mean, and try and get into different places and stuff like that. But no, within seconds of getting into the building, you're in a cutscene. You're in a closet room talking to your informant. A minute later, the cutscene ends, and then you're trying to have to be extracted. I'm not going to go too much into the details of exactly what happens because I don't want to do too many spoilers, but you then have to run through the building to extract and get to the roof. That takes 30 seconds. You then get on the helicopter, and that's the mission done. That's poor mission design. I mean, there's other missions where you have to break into a bunker, and we thought, oh, this might be like a proper sniper style mission and stuff like that, but there's very few enemies. They're not moving around. It's too easy just to kind of pick them off at distance. There's no building moments like the last one with the sniper mission where you had to do the wind drops and everything like that and wait for certain people or move and line them up. None of that. You could just literally just go around one tapping them and that's it. It's very poor design, and that's also led by a very poor story. Now, the last point that I'm going to raise in this kind of comes from the poor story and also the poor mission design is that number 3, the game is incredibly short. Okay, I was settling into a game to be taking 6 to 8 hours, which is an average of what I would expect from a Call of Duty game. This one is coming up in about 3 to 5 hours, and that depends on the difficulty that you play at. I played on hardened, and it took me 4 hours. Okay. I know people are doing it in less than 4 hours because they're doing it on normal, and I know some people who've done it on veteran and it's took them just over 4 hours. Okay, the game also ends on a huge and a massive plot point, and Makarov is still at large. So even the storyline that they've set up in this basis of this game is still not completed. It's not finished. Okay, I was actually taken aback when we actually ended up getting the end of the game and the credits start rolling. There was no expectation of it. Okay, now I obviously understand like that the game itself, the campaign is only a part of it, and I know that multiplayers and the new zombies mode will no doubt fill in the game and the playtime to make it worthwhile. And then we've got Warzone, which is probably where I'll spend most of my time once the camo grind's done and everything like that. But this should always feel like it's worthwhile though to go through the campaign. I am someone who has always completed the campaign before touching anything else of the game, before touching multiplayer or anything else like that. I have always completed the storyline, okay? And personally, I feel let down and think that there's a lot missing, okay, of the elements from 2019's Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 that just aren't here. Like, all of the plot points that you can remember from the old games, you know what I mean? Like, the moments where you had to, like, disarm something and you had to, like, work out, like, the codes and stuff like that. They try to put them in, but every time you have one of those moments, it just feels really cheap, okay? Like, the previous games have made a massive thing about the night vision excursion moments, you know what I mean? Like I was saying before, the raid that you go on to, okay, and you go and do, like, of the house and everything like that, and you had to, like, sneak through and take people out and stuff like that. This one does have one where you're in the gulag, but it's literally you're just on you're on a like a drop lead, and you're just going down a wall and you're just kind of shooting people who aren't really doing anything. Like, it's not, it just feels cheap once you've done it. Okay, you get proper eager about it and you're like, oh my god, it's a night vision section, and then it just feels cheap. Okay, now, with all them points in place, if you are buying the game for the storyline, because there are people who will buy the Call of Duty games mainly for the storylines and the campaigns and stuff like that and don't really play multiplayer, then I wouldn't buy it. It's not worth it, okay? But I mean, if you are buying it anyway for the multiplayer game or for zombies or anything like that, and you just want to get your teeth into something, okay, in the meantime, then by all means play the campaign. But what I will say though is that when you compare it to the previous years, it just comes off as rushed and cheap in comparison. Obviously, if you have enjoyed the video and you think, and you've played the campaign and you agree with my points or anything like that, or you think, do you know what it is? I actually like, you know what I mean, what you've said, then please remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, leave some comments below as well if you would like me to do a similar breakdown for other games, like, you know what I mean, new games coming out, something I'm playing with, the idea of maybe doing these kinds of reviews or anything like that. Obviously, when multiplayer comes out and zombies come out, then I may do a video, another video of what I like or similar things. But this has been my 3 reasons why I feel like the Modern Warfare campaign has been underwhelming this year. So thank you very much. I'll see you all next time in a bit. Bye.